Hey, Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Akar Kadash, Barakatah. I want to give all praise to our apostles, double honors to our apostles slash elders of GMS, and blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity. Um, this lesson is more likely impromptu. It's something I was meditating on before I was, going to take my rest. Working at that third shift and shit, and I was just meditating on, the fact that you know, our paths was molded before we were chosen. Which is the name of the lesson is our paths was molded before we were chosen. You know, um, if you sit and look in retrospect, for me personally, it's not too much advised to reflect on, the past and where you are today, unless it's for edification. Because it kind of makes you rest easier, be complacent, or be satisfied with what you've done. That's the reason. But overall, sometimes when you look back at where you are now and what the Most High had intended for you and what He put you through to get to this point, everything had everything has a part to play in it. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, being in the position I am, uh, me being in the position I am, and looking back at the things that I've been through, I can see why I'm in the position I am today. Now another key thing is no matter what the Lord put you through, one thing the apostles bring up and other brothers bring up too is that specific positions brothers don't want it, man. They just want to serve the Lord. You know, such as King David. Like King David wasn't somebody out there looking to be a king. He had a fervent spirit towards serving the Most High. Like the scriptures say, he was a man after the Most High's own heart. You know what I'm saying? And that ambition and that zeal caused him to be the person he was today. King Saul, he hid amongst the shields and the weaponry, you know. But the Most High molded him. You know what I'm saying? The Most High brought him on that path. His path was different than David's path. Paul, his path was different from Peter's path. Paul's path was straight education and being brought up into the Greek atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Knowing about their ways and things like that because he was going to be a preacher among the Gentiles. Peter was more of a fervent, faithful. He had a real ferocious faith toward the Most High, for lack of better words. He was out there, which requires you got to be out there to be the corner, the first block. Can't say the cornerstone. Yahushua is the cornerstone, but Peter was the cornerstone also. The first block laid, and you got to be out there to be the first block. You got to be willing to be the thing that nobody wants to. It's like, oh, that's what you starting, you know, and everybody paths. Peter was a fisherman. I believe Luke was a physician. You know, different levels of faith, different gifts. But at the end of the day, if you look at their jobs, and what they was doing as men of the Lord, it all goes back to the Lord molding you before you were chosen. Because the Lord said Yahweh Shai created the times. And also, uh, he, will, he chose us before the foundations of the world. So the Lord put us on a path. He allowed us to be on the path. But it's like he allowed things to happen to us from good and the bad. From the good and the bad, from the lynchings, dealing with Esau, for me personally, just being in the South, being raised in the South, I was in a marching band. I was in a leadership position amongst dealing with 20 Jakes. You know, and we talking about 2/3. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to be a leader amongst 20 different people, how to organize 20 different people with 20 different characters. You know, amongst many other things. And I'm pretty sure all brothers have testimonies, which is why I'm not a big advocate of putting minds out there, because everybody, it's like opinions. Opinions like assholes. Everybody got one. It's like testimonies. It's not a negative aspect to it, but it's just the fact. If you look back at your life and look back at the things that the Most High put you through, and if you don't even want to look at it as the Most High putting you through, look at what you've been through and look at where you're at now and how the Most High is molding you for the path that He has directed for you. And that's why I have this picture here. As you see, the path is laid behind them, but the path in front of them is nothing there. Every step you take, if the Lord tell you to go left or go right, you know what I'm saying? It's like the scriptures say, the river turns to wherever it goeth. In the book of Proverbs, man. If the Lord wanted to go left or right, it don't matter how much power you think you have. You know what I'm saying? It's what the Most High will is, and mainly what it is for you as in your involvement in this situation. You know, and a lot of our involvement has to do with the will. Really, all our involvement has to do with the will of the Most High. And so the best thing when doing this is to sit back, relax, and do what you're supposed to do to accelerate His will. Not even accelerate, to put yourself in position to fulfill His will. Study, be honest. Be honest among brethren. Be honest with yourself. That's a thing, because brothers have become over much righteous and don't believe that they're in a demonic state. Don't believe that they're in a demonic state, and really, it's like you're fighting against the will of the Lord, because you got to humble. This truth is a constant humbling stage. We're carnal. We're not like men carnal minded, but we're in this flesh. So it's times that you feel good about yourself. It's times that you feel that you're somebody, because of the consistency of your abilities that the Most High allowed you to produce. You become confident, overconfident, arrogant at times because of the consistency, not knowing that you have to remain humble at all times. For me personally, when I got into boxing, it's the Most High. I believe the Most High put the spirit on me to get into, just to, observe myself. Like as a boxer, no matter how good you are, when you get too confident, you get relaxed. When you get relaxed, habits draw, and your hands go down. You go making more mistakes and more mistakes, compared to when you're so focused on winning, like it's life or death. You do everything right. You do everything right. And these spiritual inclinations and directions are all through the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now, if you're not doing the will of the Most High just fall back and let a demon get on you and direct your path. So that's why it's important to always remain humble in this journey and not feel like the sun is to the left. As you see in this picture, I think I should go toward the sun. No, walk that path. Have faith. Take every step, and the path will present itself to you. As long as you take that step in sincerity and truth, don't act like in front like you're taking a step toward the Most High's will when it's really toward your self pleasures. The Most High is our God, and we have to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, name any man it says, let me know any man who trusted in me and was confounded. So the key thing in the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai is trust, man. We have to trust His will. We have to trust so much that we know that it's a fact, because it is a fact. But our trust value has to be high. Our confidence, our faith towards Him has to be very high. Let the Lord direct our paths. And once again, like I said, the Lord the Lord chose our path. The Lord chose us and chose our path before we were chosen. The Lord chose our path before we were chosen. When we came out the womb, He ordained us, you know, and made us ministers, as He said to Jeremiah. Like it's already set. The way we were born, me personally, I'm the firstborn male. You know, my government name is Israel. There's different things that play a part when you look at it. They look back and like, God damn, man. La Salakia, Yabashima Shai. But you like, man, like you can see you can see why you're here in the position you are today, and that should put you in retrospect as far as the future to make sure you do everything sincerely. Of course, you want to do things better. We made horrible mistakes when we were in the world. Now we're here. Now it's like time to really trust in the Lord. Because at first we were just like winging it. You know what I'm saying? Now we have a notable skill set that we're able to apply toward, guiding ourselves to the will of the Most High, which we really don't have no choice, but it's a spirit that the Most High put on us to do His will and to follow His path, or He'll just let you go on Satan's road. You got either choice. So I just wanted to, go over that, something that was, I hope that was edifying to you, brothers. I want to say, call Lord to y'all by Shemal Shab by Hashem Rakakadash, Barakatah, the Bonsai Apostles, elders, which are GMS, and blessed salutations to you, brothers out there teaching truth and sincerity. Ahabathum. Shalom.